A very good evening all. I'm Aditi Lamba with the Wednesday night edition of South Asian News, Vision of Asia. We are coming to you from our studio in New York City. Welcome to the show. Let's begin the episode taking a look at the coronavirus pandemic and its impact. The world is at 185 million cases of COVID-19 and has now surpassed 4 million deaths. India, home to many of our viewers, is nearing at 31 million COVID-19 cases with at least 404,000 deaths. India expects to receive foreign-made COVID-19 vaccine doses through the COVAX Global Vaccine Sharing Program. 3 to 4 million doses of the Pfizer and Moderna shots will potentially be arriving in India by August. Here in the United States, we are at nearly 34 million cases of the coronavirus with at least 606,000 deaths. The CDC has said that the Delta variant of the virus is now the dominant strain in the U.S., accounting for more than half of the new infections. Experts are warning unvaccinated people in the South, Southwest, and Midwest of the danger of this strain and the severe disease it causes. Meanwhile, search and rescue efforts at the condo collapse in Surfside, Florida, with crews recovering more bodies. The death toll is currently 46 and 94 are still unaccounted for. Officials have said that they are holding out hope to all the families affected by this condo collapse. Our entire team sends our condolences and prayers. With that, let's now begin the episode taking a look at the headlines coming in. President Biden urges unvaccinated people to get COVID-19 vaccine, veteran journalist Rohit Vyas, New Jersey. American Association of Physicians of Indian Origin hosts 39th Annual Convention, Atlanta, Georgia. It's time for a short break. We'll be right back on Vision of Asia South Asian News segment. Welcome back. I'm Aditi Lamba and this is Vision of Asia, Wednesday night episode of South Asian News. In politics and more, President Joe Biden addressed the nation urging unvaccinated Americans to get their shots to protect themselves from the highly dangerous Delta variant of the virus. President Biden said that the United States will reach the mark of 160 million Americans fully vaccinated by the end of this week. However, the president has warned against complacency as the Delta variant spreads mainly amongst those who are not vaccinated. This variant is easily transmissible than the earlier version of the coronavirus and may cause severe disease, especially among younger people. The administration has said that it would devote now the remainder of the summer toward getting more people vaccinated, including door-to-door in neighborhoods, getting shots to clinics, especially pediatricians, and through more than 42,000 local pharmacies. All this has now created two types of Americans, vaccinated and unvaccinated, with a partisan influence on both. This is making the political division on vaccines even deeper. More on this, we have now another segment with ITV Gold senior political commentator, Mr. Rohit Vyas. Here's Mr. Vyas. President Joe Biden addressed the nation on the vaccination program and the progress. I bring this up because right now we're seeing two different kinds of Americans. One that are vaccinated and the other one that are not vaccinated or choosing to just not be vaccinated at all.
Yeah.
How are you looking at this politically? What did you think of his address? And do you think it will help vaccinate those people?
Yeah, I'm not so sure it has much of a political drama behind it. Perhaps it did initially, but right now I think it's a matter of convincing people to go get vaccinated, especially with the new Delta variant that's circulating around the globe. I think just about every country now is experiencing some form of the other of the Delta variant, which is much more transmissible, far more infectious, causes much more devastation, and actually does not have any of the symptoms or doesn't have many of the symptoms of the earlier virus, the original one which came out of Wuhan. I think what we're seeing here is, well, first of all, President Biden had set a goal of vaccinating 70% of Americans by July 4th.
Right.
That didn't happen. We hit around 50%. of the population. And what's happening is you've got pockets in various states where people simply don't want to take the vaccine, are afraid of the vaccine, are uncertain about it for many reasons. Maybe they think they don't trust science as much as one should. They don't trust the government, and that type of situation you're dealing with. Many of those who are not being vaccinated also are the younger population, folks who are, let's say, in their 18s and 20s and that type of age group, up to even the 30s. They don't wish to get vaccinated at all, thinking they're invincible and can weather the storm. So you've got some states where vaccines were not available that easily, and where there's a greater segment of the population that has been hesitant or resistant to getting vaccinated.
Right.
Those states are seeing more infections right now. The states where you've had people, a large number of their populations vaccinated, are seeing less infections, or almost down to 10% or zero infections as of the date we're speaking right now. So there's a dichotomy here, and President Biden went on the air to appeal to everybody who's hesitant to say, please get vaccinated, and we're going out there to make it easier for you. You can walk into a pharmacy, and you don't need an appointment, just walk in, ask for the vaccine, you'll get it. And the government plans to circulate vaccine centers at festival sites, beaches, anywhere people go for the summer or to go in groups, and make sure it's available there.
Right.
And he's also promised to be working on getting vaccines to everyone's own physicians as quickly as possible, because the theory is when you go to your doctor, you would trust your own doctor the most before anyone else, say a pharmacist or an outside camp where they administer vaccines, etc.
Right.
So his appeal was to touch the chord and to touch the nerves of those who are still hesitant, still don't want it, with the urgency that if we don't get the vaccine, what's going to happen is the segment of the population, which is still significant, 50% or maybe 40%, will get COVID, and the new variant, which is far more dangerous,
Right.
will then somehow find a way into those who are vaccinated, and that's the problem.
It's now time for a short break on Vision of Asia, Voice of the Community. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And welcome back. I'm Aditi Lama, and this is Vision of Asia, South Asian News segment. We have now a special presentation on the American Association of Physicians of Indian Origin. Popularly known as AAPI, the association comprises of nearly 100,000 physicians and fellows of Indian origin working in the United States, and provides a forum for its members to collectively work together in the healthcare industry and caters to the diverse needs of Indian American medical professionals. AAPI's physicians also work endlessly, contributing back to their motherland, India, bringing forth technological advances and collaborations for the betterment of communities' health. On this and more, recently AAPI held its 39th Annual Convention and Scientific Assembly in Atlanta, Georgia. The convention paid tribute to those who have lost their lives and to the medical heroes combating COVID-19, as this pandemic has placed the entire Indian American medical fraternity at the front lines of the fight against coronavirus. The 39th Annual AAPI Convention featured academic presentations, recognition of achievements and achievers, and professional networking at alumni and social events. A big theme of the convention focused on finding satisfaction and happiness in challenging situations that the medical community continues to face since the beginning of the coronavirus pandemic. The convention also featured well-known Indian actresses Malika Sherawat and Pooja Batra in support, along with ITV Gold Parikh Awards Media's chairman Padma Shri Dr. Sudhir Parikh. Here is the story.
Certainly appreciate this opportunity, and thank you for being here. Congratulations to President Sadaka, and we look forward to him serving as the next president of this organization.
Thank you, Congressman Buddy Carter. Graciously accepted the invitation, inaugurate it went very well. And my wife Uma and Dr. Sudhir Parikh, the Padma Shri Sudhir Parikh here, and Sampath Shivangi and our convention chair, Dr. Srini Gangasani and Madhavi Gangasani. We're so excited to have host this convention in Atlanta, and we're going to have a great time. And again, great to have Congressman Carter.
Yes, I would like to congratulate my good friend Dr. Sudhakar and Mrs. Sudhakar, Umaji, for the great function put together. And really, he did excellent work as a president of API throughout the year. And kudos to him. He helped not only America, but also helped a lot of things, initiative in India, including the COVID.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light?
So during these uncertain times, API has done an exemplary job under the President Sudhakar Janalagada, doing so many great things in really difficult circumstances. Please join in welcoming API President Sudhakar Janalagada onto the stage and give this big speech. Thank you. Friends, welcome to Atlanta. My home state. I am from Douglas, Georgia, Coffee County, a small city. I'm serving for the last 20 years. Due to these unprecedented conditions, we have to move our convention from Orlando to Atlanta. I gave only 3 months for the local team Copy. Look at what they did for us. Thank you. Thank you, Copy. Thank you very much. During this pandemic time, friends, we lost globally more than 1,400 doctors who are helping the needy people. Unfortunately, they died with the work what they're doing.
Folks, advocacy is very important. You being involved, you taking the opportunity to visit Capitol Hill, to visit with your representative, get to know your representative. That is extremely important. We depend on you. We depend on your advocacy. Not everyone is a healthcare professional like I am, so they need to be educated. That's where you come in. That's where you play an important role in educating members of Congress as to exactly the impact that healthcare policy has on your practices and has for your patients. Because after all, it is about patient care. And I want to thank you. I want to thank you for the role you play in patient care. Thank you for taking care of your patients, and thank you for bringing health care to America.
Well, I've been to several Indian weddings, and after seeing how much you guys spend on weddings, it doesn't surprise me that you don't get divorces. But I will say that the advantages of these marriages are no less evident in your children. If you look at the success rate of your children, the academic success, the fact that I don't see them in the emergency room. I'm not seeing overdoses from Indian children. I'm not seeing Indian children murder other Indian children. I'm seeing just the opposite. I'm seeing that all the organizations that the Indian children belong to are succeeding wildly. They're competing at the very top of the United States. You're the future doctors, the future businessmen. Even though you make up 1% of the American population, you pay 6% of American taxes.
We have been always proud for last 3 decades of my friend and my mentor, Dr. Parikh, in our tri-state area, and with Gopio, his knowledge, I have been very, very happy with the whole year this year as a part of the team for the COVID Relief Fund, which we have been doing in India. And we have accomplished so much in a very transparent manner. So I congratulate your guidance. I started with him on the very first webinar in August, if you remember, as a Gopio, you moderated that. And at that time, we had Ambassador of Israel, Mr. Ron Malka, who was the person in charge, and then Consul General of Israel along with us, and Consul General of India, Mr. Randhir Jaiswal, Sudhakar, myself, and Sudhir Bhai, which was about the COVID vaccine, and it was a very successful webinar.
And it's something very phenomenal. Just to give you in a small nutshell, this is something which we took care in 3 months to get an API convention 2021 which we did in one whole year for 2019. So I think we should give credits to the entire API committees and our Georgia team. They have done a phenomenal job. I would think that this is something which is unheard of to do it in 3 months. If we can pull it off, and if we did a good job, it is good for the API, GAPI, and all the API members. That's what I would think so.
This is a great convention, and this is the 39th convention. And I'm fortunate enough to attend all the conventions in the inception of the API. And very much involved in API, and now I'm a kind of senior advisor to API. And really, this is a great, after post-COVID, is the first convention, nicely organized, nicely done. Congratulations to Sudhakar and his team.
We have about 500 doctors and guests here. This is the main part of the API organization standing in this group. Past president, and without them, this organization cannot go forward. So let's give a good name and remember all these doctors here, they are the legend. They are the guide for national API.
They are the power of the API, yeah. Thank you.
जो मुकेश जी ने कहा कि I am very old in API, young at heart, young in age, but old in API. The reason I'm old in API, and I know कि I just have to thank Mr. Sudhir Parikh. कौन नहीं जानता है इनको? सुधीर जी को मैं 25 साल से जानता हूँ. He has been a pillar and supporter of API for all these years. और an amazing entrepreneur, obviously everybody knows that, but most importantly, a friend of friends and friend of API. अगर कभी भी कोई API के लिए ज़रूरत हो, I have called you up, sir, and you have absolutely responded right away. And he is very passionate about what he does. So thank you so much for getting us here.
Thanks Sudhir Bhai for giving this opportunity. And Sudhir Bhai, as we earlier spoke, very helpful to API. And I know that he's working also for the oxygen concentrator in India, Gujarat. And we are really salute to your hard work and dedication to the country. But at the same time, the API, we are looking for pre-med and also international medical graduates to get into observership, also the research and various academic programs to help them getting into the residency. I encourage everybody, if you have any problem getting into the residency or looking for research or observership, please go to the website API USA and you will get all the information. Again, thank you so much.
So for the first time, they saw a very unapologetic actress on screen who was bold. They called me, she's a motor mouth, she's bold, she kisses on screen. No, she's not a good woman. I couldn't care less, I kissed away. And I was not coy about it. I was not apologetic about it. I was like, in the 21st century, how are you going to show passion on screen? Before, you would pan the camera to flowers blooming. But now, in the age of internet, we got to be more realistic. And I've always been a vegetarian, vegan, I worked out, I had a great body, and I wore a bikini, and so what? There were a lot of moral judgments cast on me, she's not a decent woman, she's wearing a bikini. I couldn't care less. I said, I'm not going to wear a Gagra choli on the beach. And then Jackie Chan cast me, and that really changed my life overnight, because that gave me international exposure. That took me to the glamorous red carpets of the Cannes Film Festival, Toronto Film Festival. I was hobnobbing with who's who of the world. I met with President Barack Obama twice. And then my activism started. I've done over 30 films, but more than my acting, more than my films, it's the activism that I'm proud of. When I get fan-made letters from young girls from all over India, they write to me saying, you did it. Show us the way. We want to do it too. Now, I don't want to tell them run away from home, no. So now I'm a brand ambassador for this Free a Girl, which is a little organization. We rehabilitate victims of child prostitution. We give them education, we provide education for them, and it just focuses on rehabilitation, and that is a very, very satisfying work for me. So here I am, sharing my story in front of all of you, and I hope you can take something from it and I hope it inspires you. Thank you so much.
Well, I'm very happy to be invited as a chief guest at the Women Forum at the API Convention in Atlanta. It's very, very inspiring for me to meet so many accomplished women. There are neurosurgeons, doctors, MDs, women doing so well in their respective fields, and that really inspires me.
First job was as a Mahila Vikas group, and she was also at that time improving the life of the women, particularly the widow women. She was a member of the Rajya Sabha from 1994 to 1998, and also been elected to Gujarat Assembly in 1998. She elected several times, and she hold a lot of position under the Chief Minister Narendra Modi's government. Now she is a governor of the state of the Uttar Pradesh, which is the largest state in the country, almost 200 million population, and the state of the Madhya Pradesh. So let's come give the standing ovation, standing welcome to our governor, Anandiben Patel. Anandiben.
Dr. Sudhakar ji, President API, Dr. Sudhir Parikh, Patron Trustee API Charitable Foundation, Dr. Srini Gangasani, Convention Chair, Dr. Sajini Shah, API BOT Chair, Dr. Surendra Purohit, API CF Chair. First of all, I extend warm wishes on the occasion of the 39th Convention of American Association of Physicians of Indian origin and its more than 80,000 members who are practicing in the United States. Recently, we have celebrated Doctors' Day and would like to convey all the best wishes to the doctors' fraternity. We all are proud of the doctors of Indian origin who were on the front of the war against the COVID-19 pandemic, serving the mankind in a time of dire need. I derive extreme pleasure in speaking to such a prestigious medical fraternity.
We are also proud of you, so very proud of each one of you. Yes, because as you know, all locks come with their keys. And in this prolonged worldwide lockdown, the divine keys were sent with doctors and healthcare workers. This is what the world thinks right now of all of you, and especially India. We are also proud of you and your selfless service to the American society, fraught with risks of your own lives in these testing times, has done nothing but reinforced the good old tenet of Indian ethos, which is service before self. I've been in LA now for 18 years, and I've done shows like SEAL Team, SWAT, Lethal Weapon, Timeless. And I had a movie that came out last year called Draupadi Unleashed. It was released by AMC, even though it was COVID. And in September, the theaters had opened out in America, and mine, being an independent movie, was one of the first movies to come out. And and in India, I have a Bollywood film called Squad, and that should come out pretty much this year. I don't know when, though, depending on the situation. You have to be beautiful inside out. There's a lot of beauty that your soul, if it reaches your eyes, you look beautiful to the other person. In terms of fitness, you have to eat well, you have to mentally think well, and you have to physically make sure that you're working out to make sure that what you are today, your body takes you forward 10 years. So you have to maintain that form so that your form stays 10 years ahead.
We have now a sad news to share. Indian American community leader Mr. Jaswant Modi from Piscataway, New Jersey died in a tragic accident when his car collided with a freight train on July 4th. Mr. Jaswant Modi provided over 50 years of service to the South Asian American community and was the former vice president of the Federation of Indian Associations, FIA. On this tragedy, ITV Gold's chairman, Dr. Sudhir Parikh, said that the community will miss him and that he was the kind of a man everyone would have liked to know. The Royal Albert Palace in Fords, New Jersey will be holding a prayer meeting for Mr. Jaswant Modi on July 17th at 10 a.m. All members of the Indian American community can attend this prayer meeting. With this, we wrap up our show for the night. Please send us your suggestions and get your voices and organization on our show. Email us on events@itvgold.com or follow us on Facebook @itvgold. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel for free access to many of our popular shows. Thank you for joining us tonight from Queens, New York. This is Vision of Asia, and I am Diti Lamba. Take care and be well.